but we'll make do. We will make do. Hold on, I'm just trying to set up the casting tool. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Berserker Esports. We talk about him all the time. He is the one, he is the only, he is PAPI. PAPI, let's go. And spawning in the bottom left, we have his opponent. We have the pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ArT. And because this is the semifinals, we will have predictions. Let me just quickly get that going. As a reminder, Geralt, who we just casted, did make it into the semis. He's waiting in the upper semifinals for the end of this series, and we will be getting into Geralt versus a laser once we conclude this PvP. We are getting there, as predictions will be open momentarily. We just very quickly went from one series to the other. Didn't have a lot of time to prepare. Didn't have a lot of time to get things ready ahead of time. And it's a PvP, so I gotta be quick, Papi. I gotta be quick. Alright, upon hearing this message, you have 2 minutes to place your bets. 2 minutes to predict who you think makes it to the grand finals in this PvP. I mean, it's a PvP, so very unpredictable. In general, I would say that ArT is the favorite player. He is a stronger, well-rounded player. ArT, he's amazing, he's beautiful, but it's a PvP, so anything can happen, and upsets, they can occur. There are, of course, PvP specialists as well. I want to believe that PAPI can pop off. As quickly checking the bracket, PAPI, he was able to take down Rudzin 2-1 to make it this far in the tournament, and Fnatic 2-1 as well. As we have some very interesting openers. So PAPI is going double gate into double stalker. We have ArT with his first 2 units of choice. He's going for Adepts instead. He does go for a hidden Twilight Council across the map. This is looking like proxy DTs. You don't proxy the Twilight Council unless you intend to proxy the Dark Shrine. So a very risky move here from ArT. Now, if this goes undetected, no pun intended, and if there is no detection back at home as well, then this will end the game. We've seen it before, but proxy DTs, they can straight up end the game as soon as they arrive. It happens at the highest level of play. It happens to like hero and max packs at times. It can happen to anyone. So we'll see if PAPI can get a read on what's going on, because there it is. There is a Dark Shrine. Now, thankfully, we have sentries. With these sentries, we should have access to hallucinated scouts, and we should be able to get across the map and get a read on the lack of tech. The Stalkers are going to be pushing in as well, as we will have to back off. One probe goes down. ArT turning back around with the rest of his Adepts, trying to maintain map control, trying to get on top of these Stalkers. Meanwhile, back at home, we do have a safety robo. Good read here out of PAPI. PAPI, he hasn't seen much. He was actually able to get into the main base earlier. It looks like he did go for his scout at some point. He's going again. Now, the lack of tech is a tell. As the Adepts, they're threatening a shade. We have more Adepts on the way. Seeing no Robo, no Stargate, no Twilight Council screams proxy. And there's no fast natural either. So upon seeing everything here, he should know 100% that there's a proxy somewhere on the map. And it should be a Twilight Council because the Robo's back at home. There it is. Observer is on the way. Adepts, they commit to the shade. Again, they're trying to distract the army. DTs are coming in. Observer is still in production. We're committing. We're going for a head-to-head fight. And these Stalkers, they will go down. Overcharge barely keeping them alive. As the DTs try to sneak in, but no, the wall is a wall. The Dark Templar, they get completely shut down. And PAPI is in a good position from here. He has a faster Twilight Council, or I should say faster blink, better saturation, natural base. ArT still getting his own natural up and running, and he's getting into immortal production. To make up for how late his blink is, immortals are required. Again, immortals, they make up for a much lower Stalker count as well, because ArT was hyper committed here to Adepts. quick moves out of PAPI. Quick moves. As he's getting into his own immortal production, so again, PAPI's just ahead. He's ahead in workers, ahead in tech. Keeping up with immortals. We do commit to the shade! And we're going to be able to get 2 probes as a result. Pretty good damage here. Just like that, ArT takes a slight worker lead. But only by 1. Only by 1 worker. And from here, PAPI, he should be going for a 3rd base. We'll see if he goes for a 3rd or if he doubles down on 2 base play. There it is. That's 2 more gateways. That is not a 3rd nexus. Hallucination is coming in. Again, PAPI is just trying to get a read on whether or not ArT has expanded. So he checks. He does confirm the lack of 3rd. And with that, he is where he needs to focus on his army for now. He knows that he's not falling behind economically, and now he's looking for his own 3rd base. There we go. Things are calming down. Huh. We're calming things down. We're calming things down, PAPI. Calming things down. As both players are taking their 3rd bases, and PAPI is going for his push. Looking at the units tab, he is slightly behind in immortals. He's down 1 immortal. He is up 5 stalkers, and he has sentries. He has the prisms as well, so he can juggle. He can reinforce here on the front lines. He has 4 gateways. And he could try to push in, but it looks like he is going to be respecting this immortal count. Did he see the 3rd? He did. Okay, he's going to rotate around. And I don't think he can break the natural, but I do think he can maybe get on top of the 3rd base. It's going to be close. Doesn't quite go for it, though. Again, PAPI, he should know that he's ahead, but we don't want to throw away that lead. We don't want to overextend and lose a fight and then just, you know, give the game to ArT. Okay, we're calming things down, PAPI. Calming it down. Proxy Pilot hasn't sorted. We were warping in the DT, but it was shut down. And ArT is going to be pushing. Oh, catches 2 stalkers even. Big pickups. No shield battery. No shield battery. No overcharge either. A bit of an oversight here from PAPI, and that could kill him. There we go. Now a shield battery's on the way, but a little bit late. ArT does back off, though. He doesn't commit. He doesn't push in. Thankfully for PAPI. As we do have a couple of depths shading into the main. They were dropped off by the Warp Prism. And we're getting quite a lot of probes. 6, 7. 7 workers going down. Pretty good here as the Warp Prism is going to be shut down. Oof. It's going to be a kill in the Prism. But PAPI does take a worker lead. Chat. 2 stalkers guaranteeing their places in the halls of Chadhala. Chadhala. Aye. True though, true. Those two, they were the hero units of the game, mate. It's crazy. With that, we've just been building up our forces, and we're going for a bit of a base trade. As PAPI moves out, we have ArT pushing in, and the question becomes, does PAPI turn around? He does. He recalls back home. He's turning back around, forcing a recall as well. The recall on recall. And this is important. This means that, again, PAPI, he wants to push, and he won't be able to turn, or he won't be able to teleport back home to defend. A little bit of miscontrol here, a little bit of mispathing. 3 stalkers, they go down for free. Not a good start. The Prism! PAPI, he's so far ahead. He's up 20 supply and he's bleeding out units. He's throwing away a lot. So this is a good start for ArT. And just like that, PAPI, he was up, what, 20 supply? And that advantage is dropping. And not the best control here from PAPI. As a result, ArT, he's getting away with going into disruptors. The Bay is done. And ArT, he's running away with this. All it takes is one good Nova, and the army of PAPI is going to crumble. One good Nova is all he needs. And breaking a player on 3 bases here on Hecate is a difficult thing to do. Unless ArT had expanded here towards the south. Speaking of, oh, 3rd base has been sorted. We can go for it. We can go in. PAPI not liking his chances. Doesn't quite commit to that 4th. And ArT, he's going to get away with it. He's getting in position. He blinks the forward. Almost gets an Immortal. Quick moves there, but one Immortal does go down the Nova. Takes out 2 sentries. High energy sentries as well. Very good pickoff. And it does feel like the advantages that PAPI once had have been stripped away. I need to give the edge to ArT now at this point. He's catching up in upgrades. He has a higher Immortal count, more Disruptors, more Stalkers. ArT, he's clawed his way back in. He has clawed his way back into this, and it's now on PAPI to pull off a miracle here. He's down in tech. Pushing into Disruptors is a very difficult thing to do in any matchup. And here we go. We do see ArT. He wants to try to catch this army as well. He's going for the surround. Pushing up a ramp though is still going to be quite difficult to pull off. Good force fields, but do we care? We blink in. We do not. Meanwhile, behind this, DTs, they're going for the mineral line. They're going for some economic damage instead, forcing a recall. Oh my god, the Novas. Nova's going to be going off. 13 workers go down. Oh. As the Dark Templar, they are caught out. But that was a good way for PAPI to avert disaster. He was almost surrounded. ArT almost caught the army. But I still need to give the edge here to PAPI. To ArT. I mean, ArT could be a PAPI as well. It's fine. Novas are going to be going off on a bit of friendly fire, actually. Novas on the Zealots and some of ArT's own Stalkers. Brutal connections here. As a result, PAPI does take a supply lead. He's taking another base. And he is splitting up his army. He's pushing on the right-hand side and pushing on the left. There we go. He's dragging ArT out of position. Recall is on cooldown. Remember, he already recalled a couple of moments ago. Yeah, he's completely out of position. This base is going to go down. That's going to be a kill on the 4th. At the same time, also coming from behind. The Disruptors, they're exposed. 1 Disruptor goes down. A 2nd as well. Big pickoffs here from PAPI. He's pulling it off. Yeah, there it is. GG gets called. It's just too much in one swift move. He pulls ArT apart and takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Things were looking a little bit dire, but again, the DTs, they created an opening. They were able to force an overreaction, or I mean, force the recall, an apt reaction actually, to deal with them. It meant that we didn't have a recall for the later fight, and PAPI, he was lacking map control. He was lacking map vision. ArT, sorry, I keep confusing the names. ArT was lacking map vision, map control, and because of that, he didn't see the 2nd army. He didn't know that PAPI was splitting up his forces and going for a multi-prong attack. He wasn't able to keep up with it. He was pulled apart. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. And we could see a world where PAPI makes it to the finals. And I love PAPI. I love him, you know. But PAPI in the finals, that would be insane. That'd be crazy. He's 1 game away. Uno más. Uno más. Let's go. Let us go. But that was a pretty tense game, and was very back and forth as well. We'll see if we can keep up with the momentum or if ArT can bring it back. here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have the pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ArT. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Berserker Esports. It is PAPI. Hi, PAPI. Let's go. Leading the series 1-0 after shutting down the initial DTs, taking a faster third, getting a stronger army, and yeah, overall, PAPI, he had a strong start. He had a very strong start overall. Then ArT was able to bring it back after a failed push at the third base. And then it was up in the air. Then it was up in the air for both players to grab. And now we're settling into game number 2. Again, coming into this series, I did favor ArT. I did pin him as the favorite player to make it to the finals. But it's a PvP, and we all know how they can go. Now, this time I expect ArT not to go for a proxy Dark Shrine. I expect that not to occur here, but we'll see as the probes are moving out. They should be looking to scout each other. Should it be looking to get eyes on what the other's up to, as we have 2 gate openers into a cyber core. So standard stuff here, nothing out of the norm. We're just waiting for the first 2 units to pop out. Basically, we're waiting for the cyber core to finish, and then we can see what kind of direction our players want to go in. Whether they go double adept, double stalker, stalker sentry. Each pairing of units, they all have different follow-ups. They all show us kind of different dynamics that our players want to go into. Probes, they will confirm that there is no proxy pylon, as the second pylon is thrown down in the main base and they both see each other. And there it is, double stalker versus double stalker. Very like-minded, very solid start as well. This gives you map control, allows you to shut down adepts, not overly aggressive like adept openers, for example. Very safe overall. Behind this, we should be seeing sentries, I imagine. So double stalker into sentry. There it is. Sentries on the way for PAPI. And sentries are on the way for ArT. Very standard stuff. With these sentries, they're going to be able to scout each other and confirm whether they go for any kind of crazy tech, like a proxy Dark Shrine or a fast robo, Stargate opener. All our options, all are available, and they want to make sure that they're able to keep tabs on each other. We can even see ArT, he's scouting, he's checking for proxies. Checking these fringe locations to make sure that he doesn't get bamboozled. And we have our tech of choice from PAPI. It's going to be a Twilight Council. So Blink. Blink is going to be on the way. I'm sure ArT shouldn't be too far behind with his own Twilight Council as well, as he's actually making a third oh my god, he's making a third sentry. Again, very safe play. And there it is. There is that Twilight Council. Quite a ways late. It's quite late, actually, but that's because we made an extra sentry. Just to make sure we have additional force fields. Hallucinations are moving out. And PAPI should be feeling pretty good about this. He comes in, he sees the Twilight Council, he sees that it's later than his own, which means now he knows that he has a window. He has a timing where he has Blink and his opponent doesn't. It's not a big timing, it's not a big window, but it's there. As Blink is now on the way for ArT, well underway up for PAPI. Just gonna be droning, saturating our bases. Let's go. Oh my... Este Baby links in the chat. Why are you awake right now? It's 6 AM. Go back to bed. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, we've been casting all night. Casting all night. Always, always. As the adepts are caught out, forced to recall back home. And we're following this up with a robo as well. We can see ArT just being secure, just scouting the edges of the map, making sure that there's no proxy, making sure that there's nothing to be missed. As we're getting into our third bases. So this is a very passive game here compared to game 1. Game 1 was wild, it was out of control. We had DTs, we had disruptors, all things Protoss. This game, it looks like both players are like scared of each other, basically. They're both like terrified. After what happened in game 1, they've been scarred. You know, it was taxing for both mental players, both mental states, and as a result, we're just being very passive, very chill, constantly scouting each other, expanding, taking a third without any kind of aggression. ArT is the first to be a little bit more aggressive with these adepts, but they're being caught out, and they will be shut down. So he likes it. That's my line. I say that. Shaking my head, shaking my head. Where in the world are you? It's 6 a.m. It's 6 a.m. here in Australia. Queensland does have a different time zone. Victoria, New South Wales, Victoria. I think almost all the other states are different to Queensland, right? Queensland has their own thing going on. But here we go. We do have the Phoenix diving into that main base. We're getting a full scout as well, confirming that yeah, everything is as it should be. Charge on the way, +1. Immortals. Any big divergence here is we do have a Temple Archives on the way for Archons. Oh, okay, Toronto. Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, we do have a faster Temple Archives here. So Archons, they do actually work so well in shutting down Zealot heavy compositions, which is why taking up into Archons is almost necessary here in PvP. Likewise, PAPI just a little bit behind with his own Templar Archives production, soon to be getting into his own Archons as well. 4th base on the way. We're no rush 8 minutes. It's it's happening. This game has basically become who can macro better than the other. Once we get into the mid game, once we get up to 3-base saturation, who is going to be in the better position? Now, PAPI does have a faster 4th base. Looking at the units tab, he has Immortals. ArT doesn't. Outside of that, everything is looking pretty close and pretty similar. 2nd Immortal's coming out, so PAPI, he maintains his Immortal advantage. That could be impactful. It depends. A lot of this is going to depend on whether or not the Zealot fight goes well for PAPI. If the Zealots overwhelm the Archons and get on top of this army, then the Immortals won't really help too much. But if the Zealots are cleaned up, then the Immortals, they can break through and get on top of the Stalkers. As ArT is going for a pretty Zealot heavy composition. But yeah, here are the CranKy Ducklings. We ruin our sleep schedule for StarCraft, actually, for StarCraft. I was casting when the sun went down, and I'm also casting when the sun goes up. The sun is literally rising right in front of my face. I have to close the curtains. It's blinding me. Oh my god. Ay. That's what we do here on the CranKy Ducklings. It's beautiful, beautiful. As we do have a Dark Shrine on the way. Another big deviation, we have ArT going into Disruptors again, and PAPI going into DTs instead. But here we go, finally, we're moving out. Before we can even talk about Disruptor production or DTs, the armies are soon to clash. Looking at the army compositions, I want to favor PAPI actually, but a lot of it comes down to the angle, to the execution. Here we go. We cannot allow the Zealots to just run into each other. They will be clashing, the Archons putting in a lot of work. The Zealots of ArT just getting annihilated, but we have another wave. We have another warp in. As we're trying to break through the Archons. Oh, just caught in a really rough position as well. Gonna be juggled back. Overcharge is gonna be... There's no shield, but it actually was focused down, and PAPI is pushing through. Again, the Archons adding so much DPS to this army. But he doesn't manage to break the 3rd. Or the 4th. He is going to back off. Does back off in the end. And looking at the unit source tab, PAPI actually lost. Oh, he lost his immortal. He lost additional archons as well. This was a better trade for ArT. Was more efficient. As PAPI has to back off, and now I'm concerned because ArT is doubling down, going into disruptors, and this is going to be a more high quality army here, a more efficient army. 1 or 2 Nova shots, if they go off, then that's going to be the end of this army for PAPI. So really interesting they decide to go for DTs again, 2 games in a row. Nova goes off. Got 3 Zealots. Prism's going to go down as well. PAPI on the retreat. We still have 1 Nova in the chamber. At the same time, the DTs, they do come in. They do annihilate the mineral line. But ArT, he's going to keep on pushing. He's going for the army. He's going for the kill. Likewise, though, these DTs, they're wreaking havoc. But we're working in Zealots against a mass Archon army. I think ArT just has too much. Unless he turns around. He turns around. He's racing back home, actually, to deal with this. These DTs are getting out of hand. They're getting out of control. 20 workers go down. The 4th base as well. It's going to be a kill on the Nexus. Dark Templar, they waddle into the main base. And PAPI, he's pulling ArT apart again. But what I will say is that this army from ArT is still looking devastating. Like, I still think he can take a head-on fight. I still think he can win a head-on engagement. So here we go. Overcharges pop. We're going for the base. And we snipe the Nexus. We are forcing ArT all in. DTs, they come back in. Taking control of the natural. And there's no turning back. We have to commit. We have to keep going. And can PAPI deal with this? He's getting some of the disruptors. No! They're going down. One after the other. A bit of miscontrol out of ArT. He wasn't looking. He was warping in back home. GG gets called and PAPI does it. Oh. PAPI, he will take down ArT 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Who needs disruptors? Who needs Archons? Just make the Invisible Man. GG, well played. Congratulations to PAPI as he advances on to the grand finals, and he's going to be facing off against either Geralt or a laser. GG. GG. Just have to quickly get ready for that as well. We have to quickly prepare for our next series. My game did crash, so hopefully I don't get left behind. Don't leave me behind, PAPI. Don't leave me behind. But congratulations to PAPI, and yeah, we'll see. He's gonna have to rest up here. It's very unexpected. I did not expect PAPI of all players to make it to the finals, but I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. So we are on the way. As we are getting ready for the upper semifinals. And how many people predicted? I need to see the predictions. 32% for PAPI. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Congratulations to the one person that did place their bets on PAPI. And we're getting ready for the upper semis for a ZVP. Let's go. My game couldn't handle what happened. My game crashed after PAPI won. It just couldn't register what occurred in that series. It was too much. It was too much. But GG, well played, and oh my god. Yeah, he's our first finalist. He is our first finalist for our tournament tonight. And we are just getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready for it.